Hi, I'm Victor. I used to be on the Angular core team at Google, where I worked with many interesting parts of the framework. For example, the forms, module, change detection, the router, etc. So I know quite a few things about Angular. Today I want to show you something really cool I've been working on. Okay, so what we have here is an Angular CLI project, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to invoke a command called make Angular CLI faster, which will add computation caching to this project and will make command execution on average significantly faster. So let's see how it works. Firstly, it initializes local caching, which takes a few seconds, and I'm going to show you all of it in a bit, so don't worry. And once it's done, it's going to ask me if I want to add the free tier of distributed cache. Distributed cache means that I can share my computations, when I run commands, etc., with my coworkers and with my CI. Because it's free, let's opt in. Okay, there are two things here. Firstly, we have this link which we can click on to see detailed stats about our workspace, to see what takes what time, to basically optimize our dev experience and to configure the cache. We can always do it later, or we don't have to do it at all. Okay, so that's completely optional, so let's ignore it for now. And here we see in a message that the Angular CLI is faster now. Let's see if it's actually the case. All right, let's run ngbuild. And the first time I run ngbuild, it's going to do what it normally does. It's going to compile all the Angular components. It's going to bundle it all using Webpack, tree shake it away using Terser, right? And it's taking a lot of time, right? And this is a small project. For many large projects, we're talking about minutes of the build time. Okay, cool. So we're done. It took us about 35 seconds. Okay, so let's run it again. Same command. It's instant, right? So, and it tells us that it was able to get this output from the cache, right? Let me show you that it's actually legit. If I delete the disk folder where my artifact is stored and I run the same command, I'm going to see the output appeared instantly and the files in the disk folder appeared instantly as well. Okay, that's the power of computation cache. It works not just with the build command, it works with anything, with any command, lint, test, end-to-end, whatever you want to execute, it works with it, right? Completely generic. In this case, I'm linking my app. The first time it took a few seconds, the second time it's fast, right? The way it works is it looks at the source code of your project and a few other global things, right? It looks at the environment and it looks at what you're trying to do, what flags they pass and things like that. It combines all of this into a unique description of the computation you're trying to run, and it checks if it already did, if it already saw this type of computation, right? In this case, if you run it twice, obviously it did. If I change my main.ts, for example, and introduce, something, it doesn't really matter what it is, and if I lint it again, it will have to relint it because this time the computation is new. The source code has changed. If I run it second time, it's fast. If I undo it right now and run it again, it's fast again because it already saw this exact computation before. Okay. So what we have seen currently is sort of our local computation cache. So I'm running commands that this particular laptop has seen. As a result, I'm able to speed up my commands, right, by the virtue of just replaying them, right? Let's imagine I'm someone else. I'm my imaginary coworker Susan, or I'm a CI agent, right, like Jenkins or Circle. To imagine this, let's delete the local computation cache. So this is the way it's stored. So now I don't have anything stored locally, right, as if I was someone else. If I run ngbuild, what I'm going to see is that the results of the ngbuild command will appear relatively fast, right, instantly. And I see this message saying that the results were fetched from the cloud, right? And the disk folder, again, has all the files, right? Second time I run it, I don't have to go to the cloud. I already have it locally, right? That's how cool it is. I'm able to build or test or lint something on my machine. Someone else can take advantage of my doing it. If CLI builds something, right, and then I pull master and run ng-test, ng-build, it will always be instant because the CLI did all the work. And CLI story in particular is very important because CLI often rebuilds and retests the same thing many times, a few times in a PR, then when you merge the master. So if you enable computation caching like this, by just running this command, which takes 20 seconds, you might speed up your CI often by a factor of 3 or 4, without you having to do anything else at all, okay? Now let's see what actually happened here, right? So what has changed, right, in this workspace? Firstly, this is my package to JSON. The command added 2 dependencies. This is local cache, remote cache. It doesn't affect anything else. That's what it does. Then it added this script called decorate angular CLI. Now this script, decorate angular CLI, what it does, it's in the root of your project, it does 2 things. Firstly, it prints a warning if you invoke the undecorated CLI. To enable the computation cache, we have to wrap the angular CLI. We still invoke it, but we have to wrap it to make sure that we can skip some invocations if we, if we're clever. If you invoke the unwrapped version, you'll see the warning, and then it links, symlinks your Angular CLI to the wrapped version, so you can type ng-build, right, and basically follow your normal dev workflow as you would normally would. To show you the warning over here, just so you know what I'm talking about, when I run ng-build, what actually happens is it runs not modules bin ng-build. This is what actually is going on, right? And this CLI is decorated, right? So there is a thin layer around it to enable this caching behavior. If I, however, run the global CLI, like something like this, it's not decorated, right? So you're going to see a warning saying, hey, either type in an X build, which will work in exactly the same way, or do something like this, right? Because npm run will always invoke your local binary, right? That's basically it, right? So it takes 20 seconds and it makes your Angular CLI a lot faster. Give it a try.